Have you ever looked at a really big number? I'm talking 6, 7, maybe even 9 digits, and your brain just freezes? Well, today, we're going to show you that those giant numbers are nothing to be scared of. Seriously, you actually have all the skills you need to master them right now. So, let's jump in.
Okay, take a look at this. These are real numbers for the populations in Ghana's Greater Accra and Ashanti regions. We're talking millions of people. How would you even start to figure this out? It looks super complicated, right? But stick with me, because I promise, by the end of our time together, you'll know exactly how to solve this. No problem.
So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to reveal the one simple secret to handling any big number. Then, we'll dive into adding and subtracting with the column method. After that, we'll tackle multiplication and division. And finally, we'll put all those skills together to solve that big population puzzle. Ready? Let's go!
So, what is this big secret to dealing with these massive numbers? Well, you're going to laugh because it's actually so simple. And the best part is, you already know it. This is it. This is the whole secret right here. The way you add 8 plus 5 is the exact same way you add 8 million plus 5 million. The only tiny difference is you just have to keep your numbers lined up in neat columns. That's really all there is to it.
So how do we keep everything neat and tidy? We use a little something called the column method. Trust me, this method is going to be your best friend when you're adding and subtracting big numbers.
Okay, here is the number one, most important rule of all. You have to line up the place values perfectly. That just means the ones are on top of the ones, the tens are on top of the tens, the hundreds, and on and on. If you can get this one step right, you're already halfway there. All right, let's walk through this one together. Step 1, you always start on the far right in the ones column. So 4 plus 4, that's 8. Easy. Step 2, we just move one column to the left. 6 plus 3 is 9. Simple. We keep doing this column by column. But wait, what happens when a column adds up to more than 9? Like 5 plus 6, which is 11. Well, just like step 4 says, you write down the second digit, the 1, and you carry over the first digit to the top of the next column. You just keep repeating that little trick until you get all the way to the end.
And this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Stop thinking of it as one huge, scary number. It's not. It's just a bunch of small, easy math problems, all sitting nicely in their own columns.
Okay, on to subtraction. It works pretty much the same way, but instead of carrying over, sometimes we have to do the opposite. Sometimes we have to borrow from the column next door.
Let's look at this one. Starting on the right again, we have to do 4 minus 5. Uh-oh. As step 1 says, you can't take 5 away from 4. So what do? We look at step 2. We borrow from our neighbor, the 3 in the tens column. That 3 becomes a 2, and our 4 becomes a 14. Now we can do it. 14 minus 5 is 9. Then we move to the tens column. We have 2 minus 7. Can't do that either. So what do? Just like step 4 says, we borrow again. You just repeat that same pattern all the way across.
So you can kind of see how they're like two sides of the same coin, right? With addition, you're putting things together and you carry over your extras. With subtraction, you're finding the difference and you borrow when you don't have enough.
So what about multiplication? Well, think about it like this. Multiplication is just a super fast way to do addition over and over. And guess what? The column method is going to help us keep it all organized here, too. Let's check this out. To multiply 1,243 by 312, we just break it into smaller, easier pieces. First, like in step 1, we multiply 1,243 by the ones digit, which is 2. Then, step 2, we multiply 1,243 by the tens digit, which is 1. But since it's in the tens column, it's really 10, so we have to add a 0 at the end as a placeholder. Super important. Then for step 3, we multiply 1,243 by the hundreds digit, 3. But it's really 300, so this time we add 2 zeros as placeholders. And now the easy part. Step 4, you just add those 3 answers together using the same column addition we already learned.
And last but not least, division. Division is kind of like a puzzle. All it's asking is, hey, how many times can this small number fit neatly into this big number? And for the really big numbers, we have a special process called long division.
Now I know long division can look a little scary, but really it's just one simple pattern that you repeat over and over again. And that pattern is divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Let's say it together. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. That's the whole game.
Okay, let's try our cycle on 692 divided by 4. First step, we start from the left. Divide. How many times does 4 go into 6? Just one time, so we write a 1 on top. Next, multiply. 1 times 4 is 4. Then subtract. 6 minus 4 is 2. And finally, bring down. We bring down the next number, which is 9, to make a new number, 29. Phew, that's one full cycle. Now we just do it all again with our new number, 29. Divide. How many times does 4 go into 29? It goes in 7 times. We write the 7 up top. Multiply. 7 times 4 is 28. Subtract. 29 minus 28 is 1, and bring down the last number, the 2, to make 12. Okay, one last time. Divide. 12 divided by 4 is exactly 3. There's nothing left over. So, as you can see in step 4, our final answer is 173. See? It's just repeating those 4 little steps.
All right. We've covered all 4 of our major tools: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So now, I think we're ready to go back to that huge population problem from the beginning. Okay, we're back where we started, but this time it's not scary at all, is it? We have our numbers, and now we have our tools. The first thing you do with any word problem is you read it really carefully and figure out what it's actually asking you to do. So the problem asks for the total population. That word, total, is a huge clue. It's a key phrase that tells us we need to add. Then it asks for the difference. That's another key phrase. And it tells us we need to subtract. See? The words themselves tell you exactly which tool to pull out of your toolbox.
Okay, first up, let's find the total. We're going to line up our numbers absolutely perfectly. 1s over 1s, 10s over 10s, all the way down the line. Now, we're ready to add.
And boom, there's our answer. We just use our column addition, carrying over where we need to, and we find out the total population is 10,896,155. That's part 1 of the puzzle solved. All right, next up, the difference. Same deal. We line up the numbers perfectly with the bigger number, greater Acre, on top. And now we're all set to subtract.
And using our column subtraction with all that borrowing, we get our answer, 15,229. So what does that mean? It means the population of Greater Accra is 15,229 people more than the Ashanti region. We did it! We solved a real-world problem with numbers in the millions, and it was all just a bunch of simple one-digit steps.
So, remember this. Math isn't just a bunch of boring numbers in a book. It's a really powerful set of tools that helps you understand the world around you, from how many people live in a region to your family's budget. You now have the 4 basic tools to handle any big number that comes your way. So the only question left is, what big problems are you going to go out and solve?